It is a little after 4 o'clock on Wednesday, February 21st, 2024. I'm on Gannet. Gannet is anchored on Port Royal Sound. You're looking toward the Atlantic Ocean over there. That's Hilton Head Island that way. We live about 2 miles that way, and the entrance to Skull Creek is around there. When I left the slip at 11:45 this morning, there were 8 knots of wind. By the time I got out here to the Sound at around 12:30, there was no wind at all. It was glassy. So I powered out, anchored here in about 32 feet of water, and had to use the outboard to set the anchor. That's the first time I recall doing that. I always anchor under sail. I fly to Chicago a week from today, so this is the last chance I have to be on the water for a while. We live in our condos on the edge of Skull Creek, and we live in the immediate proximity to water and beauty, but it's different being actually on it. In one of these videos, I said something to the effect there was nothing more to report, but perhaps there is. When I completed my 6th circumnavigation in 2019, I was 77 years old. My 78th birthday was late in that year. And that was enough for a while. That was true of my first circumnavigation as well. When I completed it in 1976, I had sailed more than 40,000 miles in less than 2 years. The circumnavigation itself, I sailed 202 days in less than 1 calendar year. And that was indeed enough for a while, but after about a year, I started feeling the need of another goal and devised the open boat voyage. Well, this time, and I'm going to turn the camera around and you can see what the old sailor looks like himself. Around my 80th birthday, I was feeling the lack of a goal, so I devised one and made what might be called my 3rd 5-year plan. The first ended in 1974 when I made my first attempt at Cape Horn. The second in 2001 when Carol and I sailed for the Azores. Both of those were about getting the money to make the voyages. This isn't about the money, it's just a decision. It's more a decision than a plan. And the decision was and is that if I'm still alive and healthy when I'm 85, I will set off and push the limits again. I'm not saying exactly what I'm going to do because I don't like those who talk about what they might do and don't. About the time I started the Gannet circumnavigation, a magazine wrote an article with the title something like The Old Men's Circumnavigators Club. And they wrote about 3 men, of whom I am one. One of the others was a rich American who had a custom Far Design 52-foot boat. I think it was about that. It was about that size. And the third was a Scandinavian who talks a lot about very small boats, 10, 12 feet, that don't really sail, they drift. The American started twice and never got beyond South Africa. The Scandinavian never started at all. And the numbers of his voyage never made any sense. He was talking about doing a circumnavigation of Antarctica from Australia, and he said it was going to be a 30,000-mile voyage. Well, this planet is 21,600 miles at the equator. No way you can do a 30,000-mile voyage from Australia around Antarctica. Maybe half that. So, I have my plans. There's an airplane up there. Not many airplanes around here, but there have been some this afternoon, maybe private planes. If I'm healthy, if I'm alive and healthy, at the end of 2026, I will again go to the edge and not to the edge, as I pointed out. That's no point of going to the edge. You're supposed to go beyond. For today, well, I'm going to have a sip of something in a little while. It's getting cooler. It's still 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which would be about 15 centigrade. And listen to some music here like old times. I'll go back to the dock tomorrow. I have other things that I've got to do to prepare to go to Chicago. I spent part of the day reorganizing Gannett's interior. It's been good to be on the little boat again. I wish you all well.